we're going to talk today about a program called Rainbow Readiness. Okay? Rainbow Readiness is a program designed to help parents get their children ready for school. But what we want to talk to you today about is how, as teachers and schools, we can help empower parents to become involved in that school readiness process. So I'll hand you over to Dana to introduce us.
Okay. My name is Dana Smith-Bader. I'm a trainer and a writer, one of the authors of the Rainbow Readiness book, and also Hannah has a background in psychology. She used to be my daughter's secondary English teacher, and now she's also a trainer and writer. Our third author is a primary school teacher of 30 years. So combined, this is the program that we've come up for. What we're hoping today is that we find a way to interest you and engage you in engaging the parents in early years learning. And really that's where it should begin. From the very onset, when they're first going into school and the parents first hand them over to you, tears, screaming, all of those things, right? The parents are right there supporting you and supporting the kids. And that's what we hope this program can do for you and for the kids. So I'll give it back to Hannah, and then I'll join you again after.
Okay, so parental engagement. You might all have different experiences, some positive, some not so positive, of how your parents are involved in your schools, okay? But what we really want to emphasize is the importance of parental engagement even before they bring their kids to your school, okay? Parental engagement, as you will know, with high parental engagement, we get higher pupil achievement, okay? And we get higher pupil engagement. So if children are learning from their parents that they're involved in the school, okay, mum and dad know what's going on in the school, they have a say, perhaps they're volunteering, perhaps they're involved with a parent-teacher association. Okay, that positive impact influences the children, okay? And that has an effect right from early years all the way up through to adolescence. So if you can get parental engagement right at the beginning, in early years, and even before children arrive at your school, then that will continue to have a positive impact all the way through to secondary, okay? Higher parental engagement also means lower dropout rates, okay? So your kids are more likely to stay in your school, complete school, okay? Which is obviously really important for future generations. If you can engage parents and empower them and give them confidence, they can then provide a more stimulating, a more effective home learning environment. Okay? And if there's a positive home learning environment when kids come into your school, kids will be more confident, more sociable, and more cooperative. Okay? So if we can start this process as early as possible, the easier it is for you to keep kids involved, to keep parents involved, to achieve more with your pupils right the way through school. Parental engagement problem, for the UAE we have some quite specific and complex issues, okay? First of all, maybe parents are confused about their role. They're not quite sure whether it's their place to actually become involved in the school, okay? Some parents are quite disconnected. So they think they take their kids to school, they drop them off, and then it's the school's responsibility. Okay, so they're not quite sure whether they should get involved, whether it's their place to. Parents sometimes feel that the school is solely responsible for their kids' education. Okay? So it should be everything's taken care of at school. And maybe there's a bit of help here and there with homework, okay? But mostly it's the school's responsibility. Children also move schools quite often. And it was interesting to hear in the talk we just had before, they were saying that actually this seems to be decreasing slightly, which is good. But children in the UAE, they tend to move schools and even move from curriculum to curriculum quite often, okay? So parents might be less connected with teachers, might be less well known in schools. Some schools aren't as active in parental engagement as they should be, okay? So some schools might not have any specific parental engagement programs going on. Parents might distance themselves from educating their children, so they might feel that they're not qualified enough to help at home. Okay? They might feel because their first language isn't English, if their kids are in an international school, maybe they're not qualified, they don't have the confidence to help with education. There's also cultural differences in expectations. So a huge, vast range of cultures all coming together in different curricula, and there are massive differences in expectations about what children should be achieving and how parents should be helping that. And of course there's a reliance on nannies and maids. So people have to work, parents have to work, okay? So that responsibility for sitting at home, going through homework with children is often on maids and nannies, okay? So that's not something that we can't do anything about. We can also empower parents to empower maids and nannies to spend that time effectively. So why does it really matter for school readiness? Why does this parental engagement matter before kids get into school? Well, it's a chance for schools to support parents, to support their children, to get ready for school, so that when they enter school, the children have the key skills that they need to be able to begin that school career on an even playing field. So language acquisition is one element. Okay? So if parents are more involved with kids at home, it means that their language is better. Not necessarily English, but their home language. So we want to get rid of this idea that parents should be focusing all the time on English. Okay? Focus on their home language, and then secondary languages will come at a quicker speed. Okay? Social skills as well. If parents are working with kids at home, then children will enter the classroom without huge separation problems. Then motor skills will be more developed. So if parents know what to do with their children at home, okay, know what kind of activities to do, what sort of play they should be focusing on, they'll help to build these motor skills in their children. And well-being and confidence. Okay, so children just feeling good about themselves and what they're capable of. And personal care. Okay, so that you don't get the situation where children are coming into school and they're not yet potty trained, for example. Okay, so schools getting involved with parents, giving parents the knowledge that they need, the confidence that they need, will just ensure that children, when they enter school in foundation stage, they'll all be on an even playing field with basic skills that they need so that they're not held back. So how does it help you? Okay, well, simply put, children are better prepared when they enter your early years classroom. Okay, so teachers have a better chance at being able to work with those children effectively. And parents are better able to support their children at home and extend and supplement the work that's going on in the classroom. So if parents get it right from the beginning, they'll have more confidence as their children move up the school to continue that learning outside the classroom.
So, what is the solution? How do we do this? How do we get parents involved? And how do we get the children ready for school and supported even in the early years education, particularly KG1, KG2? Well, we teach them how to play. I know it sounds kind of crazy, right? But if you tell parents, well, your kids learn through playing. We have a learn through play curriculum. They'll think, that's what they do at home. Why am I sending them to school? I don't want them playing in school. I want them playing at home and learning at school, right? So you have to give them something that's a little bit structured, something that will make them feel like, okay, well, this is something we can do because there's learning built in. But you have to make that clear to parents. These are things you probably already know as educators. But for parents, it's still a murky, misty, mysterious field. All right? So our solution is fun, it's easy, it's accessible, okay? And it's something that you can do in the early years classroom and the parents can do at home. And it's called Rainbow Readiness. So I'll explain a bit about what your role is. You have to support the parents, okay, when they bring their kids for entry. How many of you have assessments in your school? Right? In this country, we all have assessments. In your home countries, what happens? You get big enough and you go to school. There's no assessment. So parents here are like, an assessment? What's my kid going to be tested on, right? Especially for KG1. What are kids tested on for KG1? And you're also looking to see, you know, can they even sit and get an assessment without screaming for mommy, right? Oh, that one's still in diapers. They're coming in KG1 and they're not quite potty trained. We've had teachers report that. Also, they really are very, very shy to the point where they cannot interact with the teacher at all. So doing an assessment is very difficult at best, right? So this is to support those efforts as well, to build their confidence and build familiarity with the curriculum, with useful resources that you can use and the parents can use at home at the same time. So, the whole thing went away. There it is. We're going to get creative. So, what is Rainbow Readiness? I'll just explain it quickly for you. It is an activity-based program, right? First of all, it's based on the 7 key areas of learning from the British National Curriculum. But those key areas of learning are really universal. These are the areas where children develop: personal, social, and emotional development, language, physical development, literacy, math, understanding the world, and creative. Now, we have color-coded them for a reason. That's where the rainbow comes in. So each activity, and there are several in the pack, have a rainbow in the top corner. So if you know the colors, you can look at the card and say, oh, this one, if I go to the zoo with my children, I can help them develop their personal, social, and emotional skills. I can also help them develop literacy, and I can help them with language and understanding the world, all in one. And I'm going to the zoo. How many of you go to the zoo with your kids? If you have kids of your own, or on a field trip with your kids in school, right? So, the learning is built in. The other thing is it's 3 easy steps. So at first parents say, well, You know, my English is not that good. I don't know what to say. I don't know how to explain the activity. These are written in a way so that you can read the steps, and they're very simple to understand what to do in the activity, okay? When the children are older, say grade 1, KG2 even, grade 1, even grade 2, they can do these independently as well, all right? So, this is the program. You can start with it, if you're a parent, as early as kids can start taking instruction. So that's that. 6, 7 months. Imagine if your kids that come to you as teachers later, right, started getting developed at 6 to 7 months at home. Imagine how well adjusted they would be in the classroom once they arrived, okay? Then, throughout KG1, FS1, KG2, FS2, you continue to support this throughout their early years foundation. So, that's the gist of the program. It also has a companion guide that explains these levels of learning, these areas of learning, and how to understand them. So, now we're going to get busy. I need some volunteers. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Come on. Okay. First thing we're going to do is make musical instruments. Now, this is one of the simplest activities you can do with kids, right? So we can make a drum, right? Powdered milk can, yeah, right? Top, now you can wrap it in fancy paper, you can stick glue on it, stickers, glitter, you can make it pretty, whatever you want. Yeah, and you can start making your drum. I'm going to let you start with that one. We have sticky paper, okay? So, you just pick your color, right? Rip off this sticky bit, roll it, decorate it, have a big time, okay? Now, the next thing that's really easy to make is a shaker, right? Take your old Masafi bottles, decorate them. It's a lovely decoration, yeah? And then fill them with popcorn seeds, dried beans, rice, whatever. Okay, and you think, what on earth does this have to do with learning, right? Well, if we go back to our color chart, you can see, you guys can start making a shaker, right? So it's mostly blue. What's blue? Blue is creative. Why is it important to develop their creative skills when they're little? It makes them problem solvers when they're big. If they're creative when they're little, it makes them able to think out of the box. We've all heard that, right? Come up with alternative solutions. Don't we all want to do that as adults? Well, then we have to start when they're little. So this is creative. Second, you can see here it's pink, physical. Yeah, they've got to cut, they've got to roll, they've got to stick. Fine motor skills. What do we need our fine motor skills for? Writing, yes? Okay. Also, it is purple, understanding the world, rhythm, music, etc. Okay? Some of you later do reading skills, and you have to teach them about syllables, right? How many syllables are in this world? Kangaroo. Imagine how much more fun that would be if you had a shaker to do it with. Then, the last one is orange, math. Why is this math? It is math because you're looking at shapes, you're looking at sizes, right? You're filling things up, volume, understanding of those things. We have a funnel here if that would help. Oh, yeah. Yeah? Okay. And you can do this really at any age. For little bitty ones, this guy's about 2.5. 2.5. He's making a shaker. Look at him. He's concentrating really hard. He's got his stickers, his balls. He's filling the jar up, right? So he's 2.5, and he's doing this. And he's doing it independently. There's some facilitation there. There is an adult there saying, oh, here's your stickers. Here's your bottle. here's your shaker bits, but mostly it's independent. Now these two are a bit older, right? Some people in this room know these two. They're my daughters. But anyway, they made shakers. And since they're older, they also wrote a song and made a music video to go with their shakers. So the song is Lalu. Lalu, see the view. I forgot the words. Anyway, they're singing that. That's their song. So you can carry this through from 2.5 all the way up to allow more independent type of learning and creativity as well. Now, since they're writing songs, they're also developing their literacy skills. Okay? How are your shakers coming? Good. All right. Now, language is critical to this process. So what does the adult do while they're making the shakers, right? The adult does not reach in and say, give me that glue. Oh, honey, here, let me hold your hand. Right? Get your letters straight. Okay, now do this, right? That's not what the adult does, right? You let them at it, but you talk to them about the process. All right? You talk to them, oh, what color are you doing your name in? Green? That's a beautiful color. I love green. I love the color of trees and grass and whatever else, right? What sound does that make? Talk about the sounds that the shaker makes. How big is that? Oh, is this one bigger than that one? What's bigger than? Math, right? So you talk to them about the process as you are doing it. That's why parental engagement is so important too, because you're one person in the classroom, right? How many of you are foundation stage teachers? Okay. How many kids do you have in your class? 13. Okay. Can you talk to all 13 of them at one time while they're doing an activity?
It's quite difficult.
It's quite difficult because you're not Superwoman.
1:30 ratio.
Exactly. So if you have parental support
Yes.
with these activities at home, then someone is talking to them one-on-one when you only have the chance to talk to them as a group. So see, it balances things out, right? The other thing is it just makes it more fun for homework. Now, I don't quite understand when parents come and say, my child's in KG2, why don't they have any homework? That's just me. I think they can wait on the homework. But if they are so concerned with homework and they need homework, send them home with one of these activities. This is much better for them than writing their names 20 times when they can't even hold their pencil correctly yet. Okay? Now, that's making shakers. I need now people to come with me to my sweet shop. More volunteers. Come. All right. So this activity, we're going to play shop. Now here, we have our biggest friend in small motor skills development that we know, which is Play-Doh, of course, right? And why do we send kids to school? Do you know why, as a parent? So they can play with the stuff there, right? We don't want to mess at home. Okay, I need you to make a big snake with that, all right? Now, for you, you're going to be the shopkeeper, all right? You're going to sell baked goods, okay, with a little T. Okay, and you're going to ring up the items, okay? So, there's money in there, but it's trapped. Isn't that always the case? You can never get your money when you want it, okay? So, you're going to ring up the items, and there are cupcakes for sale, okay? And we make these little sweets, toffees, put them in jars. This is just a bit of Play-Doh rolled up in a piece of shiny paper, all right, with 2 rubber bands elastic bands at the end, okay? So you're going to be making sweets, okay? This is I think we need one more volunteer to buy. Who wants to buy? You want to come buy some sweets? We don't have to have this, girls. Okay, the man is coming to man. You get over there and start shopping. No woman, okay?
Don't worry, I'm going to shop this girl.
Okay. You can shop too if you want. All right, you're going to cut those into pieces, and then you're going to take these papers. See, now we have all different sizes of scissors. It's fun to get different types of scissors. These have straight edges, but we also have the little alligator teeth edge, right? Because they make nice shapes on the end, yeah? So we cut them, okay? And then we have a little piece like this, and from the corner, just roll it. Now look what my fingers are doing while I'm doing this. Is that a good skill for your children to have when they're little? Why? Fine motor skills, right? And I am not writing with a pencil my name 20 times, okay? Now watch this. I find boys can do this better than girls. I don't know why, but they have to wrap the rubber band around the end. Again, this is physical development, right? You get to do the rest of it. I'm taking over your activity like a super mom. Okay. And you can even decorate with the sparkles, little hearts. Now what's really fun for little bitty ones, okay, still a few of these on the table, right? And then with their little pinchy fingers, let them try to pick them up off the table, okay? My motor skills are not very well developed either. Okay, if they can pick them up, that's really good exercise for their little fingers, and then they can put them in the cupcake. Okay, now you're going to get to go shopping. This is your shopping bag, all right?
Pretty good luck.
Now once you get your little sweet jars full, you can do some real math, okay? Numbers. So each of these sweets is going to be 1 dirham each, okay? So stick little labels on your jars, make it realistic, all right? And then they have to start counting their dirhams out to pay for their sweets. So, okay. You have to get into it.
Yeah.
What do you have today, madam?
Right as well.
You have to interact. What do you want to? Yeah, there you go. How may I help you today, sir?
You know, very good cupcakes. You like cupcakes?
I would like to try one. One of these.
Yeah, sure.
Imagine if you had a class and you sent them home as a continuing exercise. Parents saw the value of playing shop.
Play shop, play restaurant, play sweet shop, play toy shop. You know, you've got a bunch of
But
toys
do
at
it
home.
over time, and parents will see, the first time we played, I had to show her everything. The
Right.
second time we played, she understood the concept of exchanging money. She understood the 1 dirham. She was better at, and over time, I always say recycle the strategy.
Yeah, recycle the strategy and these on it, but the regular activity cards are laminated. And this is all built through positive reinforcement. So we have 2 lines here that you can fill out at the end. The things I am brilliant at are, so this time it might be, well, I set everything up to play shop, and then I ran away to watch cartoons, right? The things I'll have fun with next time are, okay? And then you'll have something, a goal to get better at next time. So you can redo these activities over and over again until they feel really confident at having accomplished something, okay? All right, you can continue playing shop. I'm going to move on to my zoo. Okay, now I need some visitors. You know, because it's not working. There you go. All right.
One for
Now.
us to free themselves.
Keep playing your shot. Wait, where's my shaker maker? Shaker maker. So, you look like you're big enough to come up with a song or a rap or something with your shaker. So I'm going to let you toddle over there, think of a rap, and at the end I'd like you to perform it. All right, there you go. There you go. Okay. Now, we're going to go to the zoo next. This is the other thing about the program. We have 4 different types of activities. We have make and do. We have projects for sort of extended make and do types of things. We have ages and stages, and we have out and about. Now, the ages and stages, it's the same activity, but for different levels of difficulty. For example, you might have the activity of making puppets. So the first time you make a puppet, it's a paper bag that they color a face on, right? That's for the little bitty guys, all right? Then you want to get more into your fine motor skills, so make a wooden spoon puppet where they have to glue on little googly eyes or bits of hair from yarn, something like that. And then the third stage would be a sock puppet, where they have to actually sew things on to the sock. So that's ages and stages. The fourth one is out and about. And that's where you go to the zoo, you go to the park, you go to the beach, things that you do regularly, but you're going to turn it into a learning activity. So, who wants to go to the zoo? Are we tired? Come on. All right, we're going to the zoo. Okay.
We did
you can
shopping
sit
over
there.
here.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so
All
much.
right, wait, before we get to the zoo, right, for me, the biggest challenge is getting to the zoo, right? I have to drive to the zoo, and my kids on the way say, are we there yet? Are we there? Are we there yet? Every 2 minutes, right? So to avoid that, we start the zoo activity in the car, right? An awareness of geography, alphabet sounds, and animals. It's called the alphabet animal game, right? So I'm going to start with A. So I'm going to say, I went on a trip and I met Annabelle, the alligator from Austria, right? Now you have to do B, you have to do C, you have to do D, and that should get us to the zoo.
So I went to the zoo and I met the bumblebee from Bosnia.
All right.
Okay, I went to the zoo and I met the kitty cat, the cute kitten.
Very good. From what country?
From Kenya.
Okay.
Okay, so
I went to the zoo and I met Dave the duck from Denver.
All right, there we go. So now we are at the zoo. See how quick that trip went? No more are we there yet? They were playing their game. So you can set up a zoo at home too, or in the classroom as well. But of course, when you go out to the zoo, you can do the same thing. Now there are many things you can do at the zoo. For here we have red, green, yellow, and purple. So first is personal, social, and emotional development. They're animals. Does anyone know that? So how do we get socially involved with these animals? Well, one thing you can do as you visit the cages, right, you can try to empathize, because little ones have trouble empathizing with feelings of others, yeah? So you can try to empathize with the animal's feelings. So, lion says, "Roar," inside his cage. So I might say as the parent or the teacher, he sounds really grumpy today. Do you ever feel grumpy? So when do you feel grumpy? And then at the end of the day when you're tired, yeah, I need a snack. So you can talk about those feelings, right? And then we know that, oh, lion feels grumpy, I feel grumpy. People share these feelings, right? And then you can say, oh, Panda looks so shy today. Do you ever feel shy?
Sometimes they're all strangers.
Yeah. So we're strangers to the panda. So maybe that's why he's acting so shy over in the corner over there. He doesn't really want to talk to us and visit with us today. Okay? Now, green is literacy. Yes? So this is a perfect opportunity to develop literacy skills. Right? So if they're little, you can say, what letter does lion start with? L for lion, right? What letter does parrot start with? What letter? Oh, thank you. All right, very good. Okay, and if they're older, you can actually read the fact files that are usually found at each animal enclosure about the animal. You can even make a diary at home of all the animals you saw in the zoo and find things on the internet and make your zoo visit book of all the animals as a special homework project. Okay? Now, the other thing is, it is also yellow for language development, so you're going to talk the whole time that you're out. And then finally, excuse me, it's understanding the world. So, where do animals come from? Why are they in zoos? What do we have zoos for? Etc. Are animals extinct? What does extinct mean? All those questions that you can start answering about the world, right? Now, then you get home from the zoo, and everyone's a little hyper. So you need an activity to calm everyone down, right? So I say, you make an animal map, of one of the animals at the zoo. Can you guess what I am? I'm the lion. Of course I'm the lion. So, I'm the lion. Now, the easiest way to do this is to take a paper plate, right? Color the mane in, find some stick-on bits from the internet, or draw your own animal face, okay? Put a little rubber band in, and you have an animal mask, okay? Now, the other thing is reading a story about the animals. So I have two primary teachers here. I know them because they're from my kids' school. My kids go to their school, so I know they're great teachers. So here we are. We have our jungle, and we have baby animals touch and feel for really little people, all right? So I'm going to ask one of our teachers to demonstrate how to read a story to the children. Thank you.
With pleasure.
All right.
Okay, kids.
Shall we give you a chair?
Yeah, sure.
All right. Come over here.
Sit and enjoy this.
Thank you, my zoo visitors.
Okay, guys. So before we start reading the book, okay, who can tell me what do we find in a jungle? What do we find in a jungle? You know what's a jungle? An
Animals teacher.
What kind of animals? Do I find a fish in the jungle? No. I can't find a fish. What do I find in the jungle?
Wild monkey.
Who can make the
Jungle.
sound of the jungle animal? Sound. Are we just getting back to you? So can you just imitate the sound of a jungle animal?
Wow.
What's that?
Tiger.
Tiger. What else? Only tigers?
Gorillas.
Gorillas. Can you imitate the sound of a gorilla? It's just like moving around and doing whatever stuff, okay? So now, this book is Our Jungle, written by Rod Campbell. Okay. Are you excited to see what's inside?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So first, to have a jungle, we need to have trees and grass. So we need some long grass and tall trees. So let's move on. What's that? Who can tell me? What do you see here? What do you see here?
Lion and tiger.
A lion and a tiger. What do you call the lion? We call it the king of the jungle. It means the lion is very strong. So we need a growly lion and a strictly tiger. Wow, that's really nice. So what do you expect to have on the other page? It's a huge animal with a long trunk. What's that? An elephant. Let's see if what you said is right. Wow, you see the elephant? So we need a slithery snake and an enormous elephant. Who can give me another word for enormous? Is that enough?
Large.
Okay. Be enormous. Big. What's the opposite of the word enormous? Opposite.
Small.
Small. See?
Great. Thank you. So notice what she did when she was reading. Did she read the story? Only? Did she read the story? No, she talked about the story. She talked about the things surrounding stories. Teachers know how to do this, but guess what? Parents don't. They will read the story. Why do we need some long grass and tall, and a growly lion and a stripy tiger and a slithery snake and an enormous spotty leopard and a scary gorilla? Why are you going to watch TV? Come here. Yes? So you have to engage the children in reading. Teachers know how to do this. You're trained to do this. You have lots of practice doing this. Not only do you have to engage one child, you have to engage a whole bunch at one time, right? But parents, because we're not trained in these skills, right? We don't know this kind of stuff. We have to be demonstrated, we have to have these things demonstrated to us. So we know how to talk to the kids, how to engage them, how to keep them interested in the activities as they're happening. So that's what this is all about. Now, our hope is that you'll be interested, you'll invite us to your school, we'll come out for free, we'll talk to you, we'll talk to your parents, we can support you with activities for the classroom, we can talk to your parents about supporting them at home on how to do this with their kids, and we hope to partner with you to be able to do this successfully and improve their school experience and their parental engagement from the very beginning. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.